again, and I really want to thank Jen for inviting me up here and having me introduce Rizwan, who, as she's mentioned, I suspect a lot of you know. I also want to thank Jen for creating this panel with literally the longest title in history. I'm just going to quote it from my phone because it's impossible to remember, but it's important for you to know what we're here to talk about. So, we're here to talk about what restaurant brands and operators bring to the table, how do they add value to a hotel's performance, when does the relationship work best, and what does Rizwan look for from potential partners? So pretty, just trips off the tongue, really. Rizwan, good morning.
Hello, hi.
How did you get into the business?
It's by
accident?
Not by accident, but by passion. We start from there. I think everybody in the hotel industry and restaurants are coming from something that drives them to make a nice experience for guests. And I was very interested by welcoming people, give them an experience of a restaurant, cuisine, service, and design in general. So I came from there. I started in Paris, and I moved in Dubai in 2013. I started my first opening with La Cantine du Faubourg in Emirates Tower, and since 2015, and we continue to grow. I think we'll finish the year with 17 restaurants.
Wow.
Restaurant, beach club, and some other concept.
So passion, I think, is always, it's always refreshing when someone says, I got into a business because of passion, because that's really what, gets us up in the morning. So let's cut to the chase, Rizwan. Can hotel companies run restaurants?
They try.
It's like we just heard about,
Yeah.
Can we leave the chef in charge of the numbers? And the answer was apparently no. Can we trust hotel companies with restaurants?
Look, I think they start, and their main focus is to be sure that the room rates and the occupation is at the optimum. So since a long time, the target was to be sure that the experience around the rooms can drive them a number of guests. The fact is today, 70 to 80% of the guests are coming from abroad. They are tourists, and 70 to 80% of our guests are local. So I think the hotel industry is changing, and they are changing because the ownership are pushing them to change. We have a lot of discussion and relation with the owners of hotels, and slowly I can see and I can discover this hotel industry, and we have more and more discussion, and we start in 2020 with Wassel Properties. And more we can see that there is an appetite to welcome independent group, independent restaurant, to create a brand with them, and to mix the offer for the tourist and for the guest and the offer for the local community.
I mean, we've just had a session, from Gustavo, which I thought was very interesting, and we heard earlier about ROI. Who's driving this thinking? Is it the owners themselves who have experienced a restaurant and think, wow, I'd love to have one of those in my hotel? Is it the asset managers who are sort of saying, this is ridiculous, we actually need to make some level of profit? Is it the operators who are saying, we give up, we don't know what we're doing, please help? Is it all three?
I will try to be honest, but it's starting from the ownership.
Right.
I think the brand and the hoteliers are mainly focused to preserve their fees, and that is changing slowly. So they understand that to preserve the fees that they can have in the management contract, they have to partner with some interesting brand or group, and there is a lot in Dubai, for example. Mm-hmm. And slowly, I can see that by the push of the ownership that want to take over this kind of opportunity, the hotel industry is changing and trying to find some bridge between what they used to do and what we know to do.
And your financial model typically is some form of lease, right? So, as opposed to a simple fee structure.
We start to lease,
yeah.
And we start in Emirates Tower. 80% of the portfolio is lease. And I would say lease slash partnership with landlords. And we have a lot of this kind of partnership with Nakil. We just opened this week a new restaurant in the Kempinski Mall of the Emirates. And that was the willing also of Majid Al Futtaim and the group. So that's become interesting. But I don't forget that there is some pioneer in the hotel industry. We opened Twiggy in 21 with Wassel Group. And Max, that was on the stage, push us also to redefine the offer in their hotels. So it's working very well. We are very happy. I hope and I think they're happy. With 45% profit, I'm sure they are. But
well, if there's any hoteliers in the room, they've never seen 45% on their P&L. So
you can ask to Max and Marriott with Kima and the synergies. But slowly, there is an interesting collaboration. We can feel, and based on your question, 20% of our contract are management agreements. But the hotel industry and these brands are taking over. We start to have interesting discussion with them. And the first requirement when we start this kind of discussion is we want to stop discount, we want to stop loyalty program, we want to redefine the offer of food, beverage, the selection. We want to be sure that the staff is coming from us. So all these kind of challenges that was difficult for an hotel to change, we can start to have great answer and with many hotel brands.
So obviously the owner is driving a lot of this thinking. You've got the capabilities that are enabling it to be delivered. How does the operator fit into this? I mean, somewhere you need the operator to sort of cooperate, even if they're not that thrilled.
So there is nothing that can happen if we don't have the trust of the operator.
Yeah.
And I will say from the base, if the GM himself doesn't believe on what we are doing, it will be a problem. So there is a long process from them of learning between the GM, all the hotel corporation. But we have great example. So we believe that it's a new phase.
Yeah.
We are trying every day to find solution to recreate this bridge and create this brand and implement that inside the hotels. And so far we have a great answer. And the collaboration is very interesting. We are bringing the portfolio, the data, and the customer that we have in the city. They are bringing the back office and the strong backbone that they have.
Yeah.
And I think the collaboration is working well.
So you need all three to sort of cooperate and collaborate, and sort of needs to be some form of semi-friendly relationship. I mean, you can obviously demonstrate what you're bringing to the table now. So I guess it's a little easier now that you're fairly established. You've been going for 10 years. You've got a demonstrable portfolio of restaurants that are all recognized and successful. How, when owners approach you today against the backdrop of your brand universe that you're running, do they say, we would like a Twiggy or a Canteen, or do they say, could you create something new? What's the split there, and how comfortable are you creating something which you don't, currently have for an owner that might say, this is our dream, could you do it for us?
Yeah, so the IP element is very important. We, as a group, we are creating brand. I think we have 16 of our restaurants are homegrown concept. One of the conditions that we have in the group is we want to own the IP. So yes, there is an exclusivity in the UAE, but we want to be sure that we can sustain the brand outside the Emirates.
Yeah.
So we are trying to push and to go in Europe, in US, or in Asia. And I think it's a great collaboration between what we are doing in the UAE and what we can bring from outside in terms of recognition. At this stage, this is one of the conditions that we have. It's not easy because a lot of hotel brands want to retain the brand if something happens. There is a trust relation because they're investing in the product and they want to be sure that we can continue the work in the next few years. But for us, I think we prove that we have some interesting brand. We have a longevity on what we are doing. We opened La Cantine now 9 years ago. And we are here for the long term. We are just not here to make one-off. And I'm sure that my situation is the situation of all the group. I know all the group that you have in Dubai, like Sunset, that did an amazing job with Azure and Rift. Some other group are doing that. But for us, it's important. I think the trust relation, they need to trust what we are doing. They need to give us the keys. I think the profitability of the restaurant is not the only element. We can see there is a lot of increase in terms of EDR and the price of the room and all the other service and the attraction. I can see that some guests that used to don't come in the park yet are coming now. So I think it's a win-win collaboration.
I mean, you've been here during a transformation in Dubai. I mean, we talk about this for those of us who have been around for a while. You know, every few years, every decade, we talk about some type of transformation. It just continues to change, obviously. To have a restaurant that's been running for 9 years, like La Cantine, I mean, in itself is unusual, right? I'm sure if you looked at Dubai, and you'd probably be in a very small group. What do you put that longevity down to? Why is there such, I mean, you talked about we don't like loyalty points and systems, but you obviously have immense loyalty to the brand. How do you create that?
To be innovative, creativity, to create always new things, to try to be engaging. I think the expansion of the group also attracting people to follow us and to, I will not say compare, but just to understand that we are here with the best creation, innovation, and in terms of food, in design, and everything that we are putting on. Yes, 9 years is a long journey. I hope to stay 9 more years minimum. But at the same time, I think the hotel industry is learning of what we are doing and also having this long-term relation with the guest and not just having a restaurant as a product to add for the restaurant. I'm just taking an example because I have that in mind. I was this weekend in 25 hours in Dubai. I don't think they have any group inside the hotel that managing their F&B or their portfolio. 1,500 people was inside the hotel. So I think slowly they have also an adjustment of the knowledge and how they can bring and attract local crowd.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, we all know 25 hours, it's quite a remarkable success. Rizwan, unfortunately, we're out of time. Just before we go, if I put you on the spot and say what do you think currently, or what is your favorite restaurant in Dubai that's obviously not within your portfolio? What?
I have a lot.
You have a lot?
I have a lot.
Well, you can give us a list.
I'm still fan of Zuma. I think the pioneer of this industry, Zuma, LPM, and all these restaurants deserve their longevity in the market. There is few new restaurants. I like the segment of Nola and Mythos. I think it's an amazing success, and they have a good attraction in the market. Now I have a lot of group. I think we have the chance to have a strong community. All these owners and all these groups are very active, and I can go to Sushi Samba or to Gaia and all these restaurants. I feel very lucky to be inside this industry in the UAE because we have some other outlet outside UAE, and it's not always the same approach.
I think we all do. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, thank you.